Good morning. Welcome in to Friday, October 23rd edition of the Safety Focus. Today's looking like going to be a beautiful day, calling for partly sunny, highs in the upper 60s and might even hit 70 today. A little bit of a blustery wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour out of the south. So a little gusty, so watch out for those crane operations out there. So starting off this week with COVID, as you can see, really since October, we had a big spike October 4th, but really in the last 2 weeks or so, we're starting to see kind of our average daily count double to where it's been really since the beginning of this thing. So it's definitely prevalent in our area. And you can see here on our map in the last 14 days, Chittenden County, Washington County, has been really the hardest hit areas. So those are areas that we should, kind of watch out for and remember best practices is that social distancing, good personal hygiene, and then relying on PPE to save us, and that's covering up and wearing a facial covering. So it's good to keep an eye on it and not get complacent. It's going to be trickier and trickier as we're seeing there. Just the common colds are spiking up. There's a lot of sinus infections. A lot of people are out with sinus infections, so it's important that we just get it diagnosed. Utilize your primary care when you can to get it diagnosed, so the conversations between you and me aren't going through all the signs and symptoms. So again, it's very important that you talk to us, talk to me, give me a call about what's going on, what your symptoms are, to continue to check your body temperature, but let's utilize those primary cares and those walk-in clinics if we need to, and Champlain Medical to get a diagnosis of what's going on. It's going to be important as we continue throughout the next couple months into the winter. So this week's code of conduct is to don't overpromise or underdeliver. It's a very good tactic out there to be truthful and honest with one another, and to, especially if you're running late or if you're talking about getting something done for somebody, just try to do your best to estimate how long that might take, or those taps that you're going to take to do for somebody. So we can be as efficient and get things done in a timely manner as best we can. So safety news this week, again, excellent job. Another 7 days without a recordable injury. Our count's up to 80. Would have to say this week has been an awesome job by all. The JHAs being submitted through teams, we're pretty much got 100% compliant with all of our projects. So excellent job. Our new system seems to be working very well, so let's keep it up. Let's keep it identifying those hazards and putting up proper controls and safety measures to all the workforce, so everybody goes home safe and sound each and every day. This week I wanted to talk about Silica. Silica is, again, it's a new standard that was put out in 2016, so it's only been about 4 years since this thing has been really an obligation to the construction field to follow these mandatory guidelines. And the reason why the Silica standard is put in place is because silicosis. They're seeing a lot of fatalities for Americans regarding cancer to the lungs, and it's called silicosis. And this is something that's not curable, but it's very preventable. Hence why the standard is put in place, because a lot of construction workers and just industrial hygienists, the general industry, we're seeing a lot of these similar types of lung cancer. And doing a lot of investigation, OSHA determined that it was a lot of it was because overexposure to workers. So we're still seeing a high elevated count in the United States, about 3,600 to 7,300 new cases of silicosis annually. So again, this standard's new, but it's going to hopefully prevent and drop these numbers on the years to come. So it's very important that we take care of the dust, take care of the concrete dust, take care of the stone dust, all that stuff that we've been doing over the last couple of years. Our system is working well. We have a pretty robust silica best practices and all the Hilti tools, and then all the different other tools that have integrated water systems. So for us, it's following the table one that we've talked about in a lot of length over the last couple of years. So continue to do and follow the best practices while taking care of the dust by using an integrated water system or dust collection system. Those are really, that pretty much makes up about 90% of all of our silica exposure is into these two buckets. So continue best practices, best works. Again, all the Hilti tools are available in Bill McSweeney's office if they're not in the tool crib, and all the other tools, integrated water systems, are available in the tool crib. So all we have to do is plan ahead, utilizing those JHAs. If you got silica exposure, let's figure out how we're going to protect the workers from the silica dust. That last 10% is the alternative methods. This is something kind of being more cited now since the standard's been out for the last 4 years. We're seeing more construction contractors being cited for not having alternative methods covered. And the reason for it is because, again, we do not want to expose the workforce to 50 micrograms per meter cubed for an 8-hour day. So if you're following the table, which we are to a T, you know, there's no further testing needed because that's all been done through the standard. But if you deviate from the standard, you need to do some personal air monitoring, sampling of the tasks that you're doing to making sure that you're below those thresholds of 50 micrograms per meter cubed, or 25 micrograms per meter cube is our action level. So at 25, we need to then try to start using some of the hierarchy of controls, but at 50, we're breaking the standard. So we do have 2 personal monitors. We've done a lot of air sampling this construction season, especially down in Cavendish on a project that we're doing. Heavy amount of grouting that we had to do in that project. So we did some personal air sampling, and all of our numbers came extremely under the action level. We're seeing about 5 or 6 micrograms per meter cubed for kind of the grouting operation. So it's a very successful test study. So we know and we can be certain that our workers and the workers on that project aren't being overcome by any dangerous silica dust. So again, if you have any alternative methods or questions, or you're having a problem managing dust on any of your projects, please call Health and Safety so we can do some personal sampling so we know how to proceed moving forward. Again, what we have available for the most part is just adding a layer of PPE like dust mask, half-face respirators, PAPRs. Those are the power air purifying respirators. All those, we have those methods available. It's just we try not to use those methods because added PPE isn't always the best thing. And if we can engineer it out through some type of, again, dust collecting system or integrated water system, that would be preferred because we're actually engineering out a hazard. So again, let us know. We're here to help at Health and Safety regarding any silica concerns and needs on your projects. With that said, I'll pass it over to Keith for the next part of our presentation here this morning.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So I'm going to switch over to my screen. And I'll put the email of the week on. Here we go.
Yeah. So
for announcements this week, just remaining, keeping this cold weather reminder on the notices here. Start treating your fuel and winterizing pumps, and keep it in mind as we, especially weekends and that sort of thing. It sounds like weather may not be bad this weekend, but I'm not sure. It could be some frost later. Didn't seem like it. I didn't notice on the forecast. So on the October being the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, this week I put in the website to the UVM Medical Center Breast Care Center. So check it out. It's got a lot of interesting and good information. It's quite a program they have at UVM. So it's really it's nice to have something like that right here in our backyard. We had the COVID policies and information here. Oops, I don't know if my screen is changing. Did my screen change color there, Matt? I'm having a little trouble with my screen.
Nope, we still see your screen perfectly fine, Ken.
Okay, good. As long as you guys can see it. So for this week, we're profiling the V-Trans Williston IM89 254. And what that is a culvert relining project on the interstate on an I-89 in Williston. And the first image here, I have a profile of the pipe that we are rehabbing in this project. It goes underneath the southbound lane and connects to the median from the shoulder, from the outside shoulder. So we're contracted with V-Trans to rehab an existing 90-foot long, 36-inch diameter reinforced concrete pipe underneath the southbound lane of I-89 near Oak Hill Road underpass. The existing pipe has experienced movement and significant deflection at the joints. The rehab consists of lining the culvert with an ultraviolet cured in place pipe. So that's a UV CIPP liner, and the liner is a custom manufactured tube, kind of like a sock, made of multiple layers of fiberglass fabric impregnated with a vinyl ester. So that's a VE resin. And ECI subcontracted with A-Rolled Construction out of Kingston, New York, for installing and providing the liner. And the liner, this style liner, is both very thin walled and very strong. The wall thickness is only like 3/4 inch and results in a reduction of hydraulic capacity in the pipe only about 4%. However, the liner is designed to take the entire vehicle load and soil loading for the future condition of a fully deteriorated pipe. So the pipe can disappear and the liner still has a structural integrity for all the loads on it. And it only reduces by 4% the hydraulic capacity. That's pretty good. So the installation process involved cleaning the existing pipe, running a winch line, pulling the liner in, inflating it with compressed air to form it against the existing pipe at somewhere in the 2 to 4 psi range, so just a slight pressure. Running a UV light string through an airtight bulkhead to cure the liner, and cutting off the excess liner on the inlet and outlet ends. ECI scope of work, we were the general contractor. ECI scope of work included traffic control, stone fill, channel shaping of the outlet, EPSC, and that's erosion protection and silt control, and the subcontractor support. And the project took only about 3 days, so it's pretty in there and out of there. Now this first picture is the interstate. We're looking towards Mount Mansfield direction. As you see, there's the Oak Hill Road overpass in kind of the middle of the screen. And then we have barrels, so the access was made to the passing lane side on the southbound. We're looking southbound. And this is when we're pulling the membrane in, this kind of sock type thing in, dragging it into the pipe. Those are our subcontractor guys there. Then once it is in, we pull this little chain or train of UV light strings through on rollers. But to do that, we have to put it into a slightly pressurized system. So it looks like they just put a bag around it. I wasn't there to see that, but looks like they just used a bag, a large plastic sleeve to keep a pressurized condition for the transition where it's already, the pressure is already holding the sock open against the pipe. So they have to next step is to get that string of lights in. Kind of a neat little way of getting into a kind of the pressurized system. And here's the bulkhead at the other end. They're pulling the light string through at this moment. And there it is after it was installed and apparently hardened. I don't know how long it has to cure. Probably cures pretty quickly, I would assume, once the light is exposed to the resin. And you see there's a slight bend in the pipe here that It has moved over the years, which caused the joints to open slightly. And there it is at the outlet end. And then after it was all completed and rip wrapped and shaped on the outlet. So looks great, pretty cool that it can be done in just 3 quick days and doesn't really disrupt the highway other than a lane closure. And from the photo archives here, we have sometime, oh, maybe, I don't think that was 2003. I thought I changed that, but this was, could have been 2003, I'm not sure. This was at IBM pulling a HDPE sleeve into an existing culvert. And this is right along the Winooski River over in Essex. So that's what I got, Matt. I'll turn it back over to you. Everyone have a good, safe day and a good weekend.
Thank you, Ken. Be safe. Give us a call if you need anything. Thank you.